gentlemen, to You Heard It Here, the official podcast of Lone Grove FFA. I'm your host, Ben Eddy, and today we have a very special episode with us. This is going to be Season 1, Episode 8, and today we're going to be joined here with us by a man who has dedicated over 40 years of service to this chapter and serving into the ag industry. Today I'd like to welcome Mr. Derek Hallum here with us today. We're excited to talk about your journey here in FFA and kind of your teaching years and everything with us. So with that being said, we came up with some questions. And so you spent over 40 years in education. What originally inspired you to become an ag teacher?
Ben, I grew up in a small school at Turner, and 4-H was real big. And I was a real active 4-H member because of a really good 4-H leader.
Yes,
I got a lot of good experience doing that. And then when I got in high school and got in ag, I had great ag teachers. And between those two things, I always knew I wanted something involved in agriculture, but because of how that shaped me, I thought that's what I wanted to do.
Yes, sir. So what was it kind of like starting teaching here at Lone Grove? You know, it was a different school and everything. So what was it kind of like for you to get started out?
I was thrilled for the chance to come to Lone Grove. I did 4 years prior to this, one year at Terrell, Oklahoma, and 3 years at Eric, Oklahoma, with always an eye back in my home area, wanting to get back in this area. And Lone Grove was always a school that I admired, being down at Turner, and that was all related to athletics, because I played ball when we played them. That goes all the way back to Mr. Scott. And so I was thrilled to get a chance to come to Lone Grove and be a part of that school system.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. It's a good school. So how did you know that it was time to move to the ag classroom and or move from the ag classroom into kind of administration?
That wasn't planned at all.
Really?
I thought I would be an ag teacher. That's all I ever planned to do. No plans for anything else. Our assistant high school principal left and took a job at another school. And our principal at the time came to me and started talking to me about that and trying to encourage me to go that direction. And I decided to do it. And it was a good move.
Yes, sir. Well, you've been in it long enough. What's kind of kept you in education?
The original desire, I guess, just young people. I've always loved being a part of that and their lives and the molding and shaping that goes into place there and being connected.
Yes, sir.
With young people.
Yes, sir.
Been doing that through ag. Just made it even better.
Yes, sir.
Even better.
Well, you've made a big impact here at Lone Grove, so we sure appreciate you. How would you describe your current position compared to a full-time position?
What I do now is much more relaxed.
Okay.
Retired 5 years ago after 35 years and got an opportunity to be in this half-time position with our ag department and with our teachers to try to just help in whatever ways it can. And so it's much more relaxed. My time's a lot more. I have more time to myself.
Yes,
That'd
sir.
be the difference.
Yes, sir. Well, I bet you that's kind of nice.
It is.
You get to do what you love, but also you're not tied up in it.
I feel very blessed.
Yes, sir. Do you have a favorite memory from your time being an ag teacher?
Oh, there's just so many. A lot of funny ones. I think one thing I always really enjoyed, you expected those kids that grew up related to this, but I love the non-traditional students. And to me, that's those kids that they didn't even know what ag and FFA were when they walked in my classroom. And getting to find their niche. Had some kids through FFA course, state FFA course. They got to do that would have never found a niche anywhere else in our program. One student that was in the state FFA course later went to the national FFA course, later got invited to go to the Texas FFA course when they started theirs, and later got invited to come to the opening of the new National FFA Center and sing there as a result of being in our program.
Yeah, that is awesome. That's awesome. So what's kind of been one of your biggest challenges being an ag teacher back whenever you started?
Gosh, I didn't know they were challenges, you know. Well, I started off with an old beater single cab pickup that barely would make it to Stillwater down there at Terrell. And but technology, the advances with that, and what we didn't have then were probably made it harder, made it more difficult. But we didn't know.
Yes, sir. If you could teach one ag lesson again, what would probably be your favorite lesson you taught?
I'm real old school, so I like the basics, and so if I did that, you know, it would probably be something related to an introduction to arc welding, an introduction to acetylene cutting torch, introduction to animal science in some way, that being able to know that all my kids had that.
Yeah, go back to the basics and kind of really set that foundation. So, what is something students might not realize about the job of an administrator?
Maybe the time involved. Administrators are at every event that goes on. Very little time at home. Much like your ag teachers.
Yeah.
But yeah, you just, and in our school system, we have so many successful programs and so many things going on and we try to support and show interest in all those. So it demands a lot of time.
Yeah, you guys are constantly, you go to an event, I guarantee you walk around, you'll find an administrator. How did your ag teaching background help you as an administrator?
I think probably being in charge of a program by myself, the planning and organization of all that probably helped prepare me for that next step when I got into administration and for those things that I had to take care of there. And relationships, as much with students, but as with parents as well.
Would you say it was a pretty big jump whenever you switched over?
No, it was a definitely different thing. I took that job as assistant principal, and I didn't have a master's, so I started going at night for that.
Goodness.
I was also asked to do the athletic director's job, so I went from being an ag teacher to a assistant principal and an athletic director, not knowing what was behind any door that I opened. It was all different.
Yes, sir. Bet you be a whole lot. That'd be a big handful.
It was
a lot of stuff to take care of. What was probably your most rewarding part of being at Lone Grove, you would
say? I've described how much I always admired Lone Grove. So a real rewarding part is to be able to be here as long as I have and to raise my family here. This is home. This is where I'll always call home and be proud of that.
Yes, sir.
Being blessed to get to be in one spot and know everybody the way I get to be, because most administrators, probably have to make moves. Thank goodness I didn't have to.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I sat down last night with a very special man, and we got to talking about, he's from California, and so he said everybody over there is constantly going and constantly, you don't have that time to interact with people. And I feel like here at Lone Grove, you have the chance to sit down, get to know people, get to talk with them, and really, really care for those people. And that's something that with you probably being in this for so long, you get the chance to meet all these people and get to learn about them and care about them and stuff. And so I'd say that's probably something pretty important about being here at Lone Grove.
It is. I love relationships. I like to be able to maintain those. I go to church here. That's all what we do.
Yes, sir. There's a lot of great people around here for sure. So what has changed the most about our school probably since you first started?
If you drove up when I did that many years ago and drive up now, you would recognize the difference. Yeah. There are aerial photos in the high school. If you haven't looked at those good, you should. The difference from way back when and now. Man, there's been so many changes, so many good improvements. All that is about students.
Yes, sir.
And making things, the opportunities better and what we have. So, yeah, there's been a lot of changes in the physical. For sure, that'd be what stands out to me.
Soon enough, we'll have another change to that ag building.
That's right. Looking forward to that.
Yeah, that'll be awesome.
I'm so thankful for our community and the support that they give our school system, and see the value in doing these things. And it's been a long time coming for our ag program to get the changes that are going to happen with our ag building and the additions. And it's going to be great for our future.
It'll be awesome. We definitely get a lot of support from the community, especially when it comes time for a speech contest and that kind of stuff. You make phone calls and people show up.
Yes.
And that's very important. So, we've kind of touched into what your favorite part about being here and stuff is, but after 40 years, what would you say your biggest accomplishment has been?
I don't know. Kids. I mean, that's what, that's your purpose of being here. I don't have any personal accomplishments, but every time the students such as yourself getting to watch what you are able to do, that's the accomplishments that teachers are proud of and look forward to.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I sure enough wouldn't be sitting behind this chair talking in front of people the way I do if it wasn't for you. So I appreciate you for that very much. Who were some of your mentors that kind of helped you out whenever you got started?
When I got started, I had a great opportunity to do my student teaching at Colgate. And Mr. Ted Hartsfield was the ag teacher there, and he did a great job of getting us involved. I say us, we had two of us, student taught together. And Mr. Hartsfield was always, after I left there, always went back to him, phone call all the time, So he was great. Had some really good state supervisors that I've enjoyed my relationships with and helped me a lot. And then as well as administrators that I worked with, and always had really good people around me. Staff, when I got in administration, same thing, up and down the hall. Teachers that really had good rapport with, and things went very well.
Yeah, a good backbone to help you out. Getting started really helps out a long way. So what advice would you give to someone wanting to become an ag teacher today?
Well, I would want to make sure that you're in it for the right reason. That it's all about the kids.
Yes, sir.
For sure. Interest to further develop agriculture. But also going back, like I said, old school, I just encourage them to make sure there was time for their classroom, that teaching was going on. Is so important.
Yes, it is.
We have so many events nowadays. You're so aware that pulls at your teachers and their time, but classroom is so important.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we've definitely been blessed this year with a wonderful ag teacher that's taught in the classroom a bunch, and that's something that, it's awesome to go in every day, and I will tell you, you can walk in that classroom and learn something new every single day.
Yes.
I think that's a big part about ag is getting to learn, because you're going to learn your entire life, and you're never going to know everything that there is to know about agriculture, and about the time you think you do, it changes.
That's right.
So that's very important. What do you think makes Lone Grove FFA students special?
Probably across the board, FFA members are just special. Certainly to me, we're a different kind, but hardworking, determined, willing to give of themselves. Something that's different about ag students and ag teachers, we get to be with you and your families for maybe 5 years. We don't just see you 1 year for that course that you take of ours, and we get to know your family. We're at your house. We're taking you up down the road all the time, and so that really develops a lot.
Yes, sir. What skills do you hope that every student at Lone Grove would leave with?
Positiveness, confidence in themselves. But maybe an example, there was a boy that came into my class when I was at Eric, about my second or third year to teach, and I'm young. and we would learn the creed.
Mm-hmm.
It was part of Ag 1, and do a paragraph at a time, and he barely could stand in front of us. He was so nervous and scared, and I barely could hear him say it. He was a smart student, and he would learn it. And then now I'm friends with him on Facebook and see all his successes. And I have to believe that he got started right there.
Yes, sir.
And those are examples that happens over and over and over. There's many of those stories.
It's just like me, like I already said, I didn't, whenever I first came in here, I didn't want to get in front of people and talk. That was not for me. And with you really pushed me to kind of jump in there, helped me out with my speech and stuff. And I would definitely say that shaped me kind of into the man I am today, because I can get up in front of a crowd now and talk to anybody. It just doesn't faze me. And FFA definitely was the lead source of that, for sure.
Just brought you out.
It did.
Showed you what you're capable of, and I'm really proud of you.
Yes, sir. So, if every student could hear one piece of advice from you, what would you want that to be?
That wouldn't be anything to do with ag. Just be kind to everybody.
Yes, sir.
Everybody deserves your friendship. Everybody deserves a kind word. And we need a whole lot more of that going on. I had an opportunity last week, sold my car and my wife's car. And a former student at Lone Grove, she wasn't in ag, but a former student bought that car and gave me an opportunity to talk to her about what I saw, her up and down the class, up and down the hallways at Lone Grove, and what kind of person she was. We got lots of them.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I think if everybody would just kind of slow down in today's society, everybody wants to go through life so fast. I think if you slow down, you really take it in. You can enjoy it a lot more, and you can interact with people if you're going slow and be kind to them and get to know people. And I think that's very important, because everybody today wants to, I'm going to do this and do this and do this so fast. Well, then you don't make the connections.
Right.
And that networking and making those connections is so important.
Yes, it is.
It matters so much throughout your life. Without, like you said, we talked about who were your role models and stuff. You don't meet those role models if you don't talk to people. So I think that's something very, very important. So we've kind of talked about your memories and stuff a little bit. So what would you say one of your funny or most memorable moments with students that you can share?
Fun time. I mean, I had one. Excuse me. My wife is she cuts hair, and she's a beautician from way back, and she hasn't had a beauty shop since we moved to Lone Grove, but she's always cut my hair from the time I met her. And so I sat down for a haircut one day while I was teaching ag, and she left the guard off when she first started. So it's just kind of like you think about what it'd be like on a steer or a hog, and that's kind of what I looked like back here. And so we went ahead and made it best we could, and I declared that week you could wear your hats in the ag building. And I had my hat on, and one student decided he's going to take it off. That became really funny. He remembers it well, I'm sure. But other things that I got to do with my kids, when we'd go to Made for Excellence conference, or we'd go to big events and coming home, Chuck E. Cheese was where they liked to go. And it was easy for me and all that, but it was all about playing the games and winning the tickets and all that. And they would pool their tickets and take them all together to get something big, because it takes 900
a whole bunch of them.
But we had lots of stuffed animals up in the classroom that were our mascots, and we'd take them with us on trips. Not all. I mean, maybe one of them or something like that. They had a lot of fun with that. It was fun memories.
That's awesome. That is awesome. So if you weren't in education, what do you think that you would have done instead?
My mom wanted me to be a dentist.
Really?
Yeah. Can you imagine me saying, open wide? No, I had no interest. I should listen to Mom probably.
Yeah.
But if not teaching ag and being in education, it would have had to do something with agriculture, because I just had that love when I was young. And so I'm sure it would have been somewhere related to that.
Yes, sir.
I feel like it's a calling,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a calling on my life,
Mm-hmm.
and I pursued that, and it's been a blessing, and everything's went well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was definitely a good call because you've shaped a lot of people's lives. So, what is one thing that your students would be surprised to learn about you? You got any fun facts or anything?
No, probably. I like to sing.
Really?
Yeah. Always sang in church and all that. My mother was a piano player, and my sister and I and my mother would sing a lot together growing up, but that continued on. But never had choir things, at school. At Turner, we didn't do that. But another fun fact that most people would never know about me, and I don't have time to give you the story. I'd have to give you that some other time. But I bleed orange, and but I do have a 4.0 GPA.
Really?
At that other school.
Yeah.
Down south, and the one with red.
Mm-hmm.
I have a 4.0, and this is true. So I'd have to tell you, most people wouldn't know that.
Yeah.
I kind of keep that hidden.
Yeah, and that's probably for the best.
Yeah. All in fun.
Yes, sir. So what do you hope that your legacy will be at Lone Grove one day whenever you're not here at the school anymore?
I don't know. That I made a difference.
Mm-hmm.
That would be, they talk about the dash. I don't know if you've ever heard that on a tombstone, the birth date, and the death date, and the dash is what's important. Mm-hmm. It's just that dash, but that's the important part. And so just want to make a difference.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. So what does the future of education look like?
Education is ever changing. Gosh, I've seen so many things come down the pike, new things that we're going to do, and then they don't last, and all that. But that'd be a whole nother podcast, Ben.
Yeah.
What the future of education. But I have a daughter in education, teaching, and I've always told her, we hear a lot of negative in our state and all that, but as a teacher, as long as you've got a good administrator and a good team, you're fine. You don't have to worry about what's going on at state level.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, with my mom being in education too, I've heard a lot of good things about your daughter and stuff. So you sent her down the right path, because it takes a very, very special person to be in a teacher position, because what you learn from the teacher sticks with you the rest of your life. So you have to have that calling for it, because if you don't, you can really put a bad reputation on it. So.
Yeah.
Any final messages that you would like to say for our listeners? You heard it here.
I don't know what that'd be, other than always support the blue and gold. Take every chance you can. Be involved. Mm-hmm. We need the public's help, just like you mentioned our speech contest that we host, where we have like 90 judges involved in that.
Yeah.
And very thankful for all those people that will take the evening and give it to us.
Yes, sir.
To make that happen. But
absolutely. Well, I think that kind of being said, that kind of wraps up today's episode of You Heard It Here. A huge, huge thank you to you, Mr. Hallum. You played a vital role in our ag program for many, many years, and you've helped out so many kids along the way. So definitely a special thank you to you. It's not every day that we get to hear from someone who's truly seen the ins and outs of Lone Grove State. And you have. And so it's very, very special for us to get to talk to you. Your impact will be here for generations. So I hope you feel proud of yourself for that. For sure. If you've enjoyed this episode, if you heard it here, make sure you follow and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on our next one. We record every Friday and post on Tuesdays, so tune in every Tuesday to watch our episodes. Again, thank you for listening, and we will catch you on the next episode.